Beverage, but not tonight. So, if you would, I know I left out a ton because your resume is so long. But if you could just introduce us to you.
Oh yeah, King Kevin in the building, baby. My last name is Dorival, so that's how you pronounce it. I'm African Haitian, born and raised Fort Lauderdale. Moved to Atlanta a few years back, and it's been a dream come true. Write books. These are my three books behind me right here. The Wind in the Mirror. This is my latest one right here. This one comes out in a couple of weeks. The Wind in the Mirror, activating the superpowers of mind, body, and spirit. This is supposed to get me on Oprah, really. So it comes out July 7th, next month. And of course, the book that I'm mainly going to be talking about today is this one, The Heart Shape, Seven Types of Queens, King Desire.
Okay,
And
okay.
you get those from my website, kevindorival.com. Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool. And I'll definitely make sure to link all of that so people can reach out to you, check out the new book. I knew you was 2 times, but I got to correct myself to say 3-time author now.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
And if I read correctly, you graduated from the distinguished Florida Atlantic University?
Yes, Florida Atlantic University down there, Boca Raton, Florida, and major in political science and minor in marketing. Even though I don't like politics, at one point in time I did want to be a lawyer, and my life kind of drifted another direction. So, but who knows? I might still go get my law degree after all, because all the injustices our brothers and sisters are facing. Why not?
Okay. So let me ask you this. We're just gonna get into it because I know your time is limited, but we talking about expectations, right?
Yes.
Setting expectations, maybe recalibrating expectations in a relationship because we're always supposed to be, in my opinion, assessing it every so often. But just speak on that. What are some of the setting expectations in a relationship? What does that look like?
I mean, it can look. We both know it looks kind of crazy these days, and a lot that has to do with our psychology and our experiences. But when you set your expectations, you have to know where you are in life. You can't set up these high expectations, and you haven't even reached halfway of what you're requesting from your mate. For example, if you want a man that's making 6 figures and you barely making 50,000. That's not a realistic goal right there, because the guy who's made that kind of money, he comes with a certain level of, I guess, ambition, intelligence. Perhaps he makes the money illegal. Maybe you don't want nothing to do with that. So it's about putting everything on the table so that you understand completely who you're dealing with. But you can't really put everything on the table if you're not truthful with yourself, understanding where you are in life. Are you completely healed from your past relationships? Do you have your life together? Are you entrepreneur? You making your own money? Are you working? Even if we all know these days 9 to 5 don't really mean anything. So I can't say that, but the economy is very shaky. So you have to have multiple streams of income. And so if you're a woman who's just used to having one job, one source of income, you got a man who's out there hustling and busting, doing all kinds of things, trying to bring money in, and he sees you not putting the same kind of effort he's in, because he's expecting you to kind of level up. There's going to be some sort of, what do you call it? There's going to be some sort of, unbalance of energy there. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some, it's the word I'm looking for. I can't think of it right now, but it's going to cause some tension in the relationship. And
absolutely, it's going to be a rift. It's going to be a rift.
Yes, at some point in time, man, because honestly, just be quite frank with you, Vaughn. Sir Vaughn. My apologies. I've been in them shoes before, man. It's like because as you can see from my website, or if you even Google me, you see resentment. That's what I'm looking for. Thanks. Who's that black man? Appreciate that, man. That's on the resentment. Yes, that's the word. I've been in positions before where I've always been an entrepreneur, man. I've always had several things going on. That's just the spirit in me, man, And a lot of my motivation comes from knowing what my ancestors went through, whether bitter in this country or in Haiti, defeating the French back in 1804, you know what I'm saying? And they had an incredible amount of ambition. And so that's where I get that drive from, you know. And so I've been in relationships where a woman, she want to meet me halfway, but she want to live the good life. You know, she want 5-star dinners, gourmet restaurants, but putting in McDonald's type effort. You feel me? So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying a woman that isn't making, you know, $50,000-$60,000 is less of a woman. I'm not. Money don't shouldn't make anybody. First of all, because that's a materialistic type thing. You know what I'm saying? The spiritual world is far more greater. But when you're not realistic, if you're not being realistic about what you're expecting from your mate, because you're not being real with yourself, it's gonna be that resentment is gonna build up. It's gonna turn to a volcano and explode and all that good stuff. So the point is to avoid that. So if you're a woman that's making you know, a certain type of money or a certain type of education, I'm not saying to limit yourself to just that type of person, but you can't expect a man to have these high, you know, making all this money, having, you know, whatever type of cars and clothes, and or, you know, his economic status, and you nowhere near that, and you putting that pressure on a man who can't do that. That's why the prison system feels the way it is right now with black men, because black men are, you know, we're conditioned in this society to go after, you know what I'm saying, the Mercedes Benz, or supply this and that during Christmas. And then, and if you can't do it, and I'm in Atlanta, city of, like, you know, flashing, you already know what time it is. You know, so guys, even young kids, huh?
Flash City.
Flash City, man. I like that name, Flash City. It's exactly what it is. So everybody's wearing their savings or their income, you know, literally, you know, driving the S550 Benz, but living in the projects. I just seen that literally. I'm like, this guy either got to be trapping or doing something, because you're in the middle of the hood and nothing but a man at homes, but you're in the S550 Benz. It's like, you know, it's just, I don't know. It just throws me off, man. But, hey, I love my people, man. Black on black love all day, baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me challenge you. Let me get to one of the questions.
Yes, sir.
And then I kind of want to challenge you on one of the points that you made. So somebody said in the comments that they thought that men didn't care how much women make as far as financials is concerned.
Okay.
But you said that, but you said something to the fact that you can expect you making 50 and they making 100,000 plus.
Correct.
So I will say I disagree a little bit on that.
Okay, right? Talk to me.
Let me tell you my point of view on that. I do believe, and they might kill me in the comments, but I don't care. We're just having an open and honest conversation right here. I do believe that if it was reversed, if the woman was making 100,000 and the man was making half of what she was making, let's say 50, just to keep the numbers nice and round, I do think that there could be some resentment built in that dynamic. Mm-hmm. But if the reverse is true, the man is making way more. As long as the woman has $100,000 support behind her, meaning that she wants that, she wants to strive to get there, and she wants to help support her man in those efforts, I don't have a problem with that. I personally don't have a problem with that. How you feel about that?
Oh, you asked me if I have a problem my woman make more money than me?
Yeah. Would you personally have a problem with that?
I never had a problem with that, because I always got my own. You know, I was raised old school way. You know, with a man is the provider, protector of the home, and the woman, you know, take care of the home and the children and things of that nature. You know, my mom, you know, she did everything. You know what I mean? Like, you know, even I did have a stepfather in my life for maybe about 10 years of my life, but for the most part, just me, my moms, and my siblings. So I seen her do everything on her own. So I know women have that spirit of ambition in them anyway, you know, if they want to. Now, being in Atlanta, it's tons of women making way more money than men, way more money, you know what I'm saying? Because the system is built that way, you know what I mean? It's like the Willie Lynch syndrome is in effect, because even in the Willie Lynch letters, those who've read it, you know, the guy said that, you know, if you place fear and you place fear into the woman by torturing the man in front of her, it's going to show that the black man can't protect you, only the white man can, you know what I'm saying? And so from there, they set up the system to show men as subservient to women, or to just white men in general. How I tie that all in together is the fact that if a man has some sort of He feels inferior to his woman, so to speak. If he feels inferior to his woman due to her money, then he was never into her in the first place. You feel what I'm saying? Because money is just money, man. It's just money is really energy. It's what you do with that energy. You know what I'm saying? So I've been with women who've made more money than me, or who made way less money than me. But the fact remains is that I always had my own. I wasn't like a mama's boy, or you know what I'm saying, sucking my mom's breast until I'm 30, 40 years old, like a lot of these guys are doing today, because the lack of masculine energy in the home makes these guys dependent upon the women. Like a lot of guys, I can't say a lot of guys. I know quite a few men who are literally living off their woman, and they have no shame about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I mean, it bothers me, but then it's the world we in. You know what I'm saying? People are using people, have all type of ulterior motives, and not necessarily in it for the longevity of the relationship. Because any relationship that you're in, any relationship, especially one of companionship, you want to get together so you can build something greater than you two together. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like
right. That's right.
particularly a marriage, hopefully even children. You know what I'm saying? Because we in a society today, and this is like a sad fact. We in a society today, well, many of the children that especially young black boys, even young black girls today, they are not necessarily, generally speaking. I'm not trying to offend anybody, so please don't take it the wrong way. But a lot of the children that we are having today are being raised by the streets and by this crooked school system. So you have children who are being brought up to terrorize the community rather than be a blessing to the community. Our African ancestors, they believed in when you tied a knot with a woman, because they literally used to tie a knot. Not every African culture, but they have a knot tied together, which represent. It's a tradition. It represents the unity between two people. And when they tied a knot, it made the bond stronger together. And a woman could not get married. A woman could not get married. In most ancient African civilizations in times of antiquity, they could not get married until they proved that they were wife material or husband material. You know what I'm saying? The men and women were separated. But now, with the fathers not home, and the women doing everything by them, damn near everything by themselves. They being the mom and the dad. And we see the reaction to it. You go on social media right now. You have even young girls committing robberies. Shooting people, killing people. Man, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Because that balance of energy that isn't there like it used to be. Even you was playing some music earlier today. I think that's what's his name? Lord. What's his name?
Yeah. Southside.
Lord. What's his name?
Lloyd by South. Yeah, Lloyd. Southside by Lloyd. Yeah.
Okay. Now see, that was what was that? Early 2000s, maybe mid 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s. Yeah.
Now see, earlier I was listening to the OJ's.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, because I play Pandora, so the different OJ songs playing, Gerald Levert and, the whole gang. And I'm thinking to myself, man, they don't even make music like this no more. Now, why is that?
No.
Why do you think that is?
I personally think it's I think it's to shift. Me personally, this is what I feel. I think it's to shift the balance in the black community, right?
Okay.
It's to make our young men more effeminate and our women more masculine. And we see that, like you said, you see a lot more girls acting as what I would think when I was growing up, like the boys would act. And then you see a lot of our young boys acting like when we grew up, like the girls would act. From everything, and then we have to accept it, right? I have to accept a young man walking down the streets that's my son age, 17, 20, 22,
okay,
wearing a purse now, right? I have to accept that. I have to accept young women coming out dressed a certain way, dressed in what I would consider lingerie type apparel at very, very young ages, 18, 19, 20, walking through the mall in what I think is lingerie. And I cannot have an opinion on that outside of this platform, right? I can't say, hey, young man, I can't pull these brothers to the side because that's not the way our society is built these days. We don't have those OGs that we used to have to pull you aside and say, hey, let me holler at you real quick. You sag in your pants because when we were coming up, it was the sagging of the pants, right?
Okay.
And I'm from California where you really had OGs and Gs out there pull you to the side and say, hey, man, you know where that came from? That came from the prison population. That was to let other men know that you were available to them. And then in my mind, I instantly clicked, yo, I'm not available to them, so let me pull my pants up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that these days. So it's definitely so, it's all topsy-turvy, in my opinion.
I mean, you made a great point, and one of your comments in here, I think her name is One Queen She. You know, her comment is, which is why you have, like you said, which is why you have more masculine women and more feminine men. You know,
Right.
I mean, it's the imbalance of the home, man. You know what I'm saying? It's essential. You know, it's essential to do what you have to do to raise your child with who you have the baby with. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, it's a loving situation. But we are at war. The black family is at war. You know what I'm saying? Period. Like, we've been, generally speaking, man, we've been prisoners of war since we got into this country, the United States, in 1619. You know what I'm saying? We still POWs to this day. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And it's unfortunate that we can't see that. You know, we so caught up, you know, the latest trends, the latest fashions, the latest, you know, challenges online, or whatever hoopla the media throws at us, that we completely neglect the number one thing. The number one thing is most important. You know what I'm saying? Is home, man. You gotta take care of home first. Even in battles, you know, I speak in. I use a lot of you know, war and strategy tactics. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking, even when I'm doing projects, I'm always thinking, okay, this is the battle we got to win, so we got to do X, Y, Z. So if you forgive me for that, but Dr. Frances Cress Welsing talked about that a lot as well. You know, she's quoted in my book, Seven Queens. She talked about, man, we at war, but we too busy, you know what I'm saying, catching up with the latest dances, you know what I mean, or spending, you know, all our money on X, Y, Z. Dr. Amos Wilson, are you familiar with Dr. Amos Wilson?
No.
I'm gonna send you a link. Anybody listen to this show, listen, YouTube, Dr.
Right.
Amos Wilson.
Okay.
You know, he's a black psychologist. He's actually an inspiration to a lot of my work. Him and Dr. Boris Shango and Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. But Dr. Ms. Wilson, you know, he talks about a lot about economics. As a matter of fact, he had a video that everyone should watch. It's called Black on Black Love Relationships. Black on Black Relationships, something like that, on YouTube. And don't pay attention to what he's wearing and his glasses, and because this video was made in the 80s. So people might think, okay, this is old school, you know what I'm saying? It's not relevant, yada, yada. But you get a lot of wisdom from the OGs, like you said.
Ain't nothing new under the sun, brother.
Nothing new under the sun but technology. And even that could be challenged sometimes, you know. But in that video, it is so profound, and that I had to quote it in my book, Seven Queens, when talking about love from love or love from hate. And what a lot of us in the black community don't realize, that we've been so traumatized through, you know, the slave trade and just police brutality and the political, social, economic situation that we in, that we don't even realize that how much it impacts our relationships or the lack thereof. You know, you look at our communities and how ravaged it looks, or the fact that there's a 70%, some stats up to 75% single black mother homes. You know what I mean? Run by the single mothers. You know, and that is no way for success. But that video is so profound, man. If you was to listen to it and don't even pay attention or don't even watch the video, like far as with your eyes, just listen. Cause a lot of people, cause I know we you know, the millennials, you know what I'm saying? You know, something looks old. Even old movies, we just ignore it. But when you listen to this video, man, you would think, this video was recorded, I think 1988, 89. You would think he recorded that video in 2021. If you don't, it's so prophetic.
Is that relevant?
It's that deep. Yeah, it's that deep. And it's crazy because the same situation that he's talking about, the same perils that the black community was facing, especially in our relationships, in the 80s, are even, man, going on today. He even predicted that the Chinese were going to be the number one economy in the world, that they were going to rule the world, you know, economically, the Asians. Look where we at now. You know, we in debt to Asia. I played China. I forgot how many billions. But man, he should have been a pastor, man. This dude prophetic, man. Dr. Amos Wilson, remember the name.
So you talked about the families. So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
A lot of followers that I have are single, right? So how is a woman that is single, who's been beat up by society, right, told that they have to be hardened, how are they supposed to let down their guard and set those expectations? And on the flip side, how is that man supposed to approach that woman who has all these walls up, who is hardened by society? Because sometimes we want to. There's a battle right now between modern and traditional.
Okay.
Right? So we and it's not even age, right? Because there's some women who are 40 who have very modern views on relationships. And then there's some women who may be 32 who have a mixture of modern and I don't know how they get a mixture, but sometimes they 32, so they have a mixture of modern and traditional.
Okay.
And then you have some young ones who have just traditional. What do you say about that?
I mean, great question. To be honest, like we were saying earlier, it's a spiritual thing. You know what I mean? If coming from me, if I'm approaching a woman and I understand that she has like all these walls up, believe me, sad fact. I mean, it happens more often than it should, but has a bunch of walls up. I engage to see where is she? Has she healed from that? Is she trying to heal from it? Or is she just straight bashing, what I'm saying, bashing men just because? Because I'm looking for a king builder. Even though I go by King Kevin, I'm still looking for a woman that's a king builder. She understands her divine feminine energy is what's created to not only nurture our children and raise being the first teachers, the mother gods, but it's also to motivate, inspire me, through her touches, through her words of encouragement, her spirit, And if I can't see that future, then I'm not gonna invest that time and money in it because I don't have time for that. I'm sure you don't have time for that. Most men who have their life together, who have options, they're not gonna entertain that. They're just gonna keep it moving and wish you the best. I seriously suggest any woman or man who's been through trauma, unresolved trauma, still hasn't healed from it, definitely seek counseling. Don't just go to church and think you're going to pray it away. You have to actually seek professional advice on what and how to deal with the situation because your mind, not your money. I don't care how big, your breasts are. I don't care how big you think your penis is, how big your bank is, how big your house is. All that don't mean nothing if your mind ain't right. Your mind is the most powerful asset that you have. You know what I'm saying? It's the most powerful asset that you have. Even, the motherland, Africa, the Congo is probably the richest country in the world. You know what I'm saying? The richness isn't necessarily in the natural resources, but it's in the people. So once the conquerors came over there, I'm not kind of went let's feel with this one, but it's on my mind and spirit. But when the conquerors came and took those people resources and made them think that they were poor, they went with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? King Leopold came there and killed, Lord knows, maybe 10, 20 million Africans, man, because he was able to get them to give up the most important thing that they had. It wasn't their land, but their mind. Once someone gets control of your mind, it's a wrap.
And that goes to your earlier point. Even though that happened over in the motherland, like you said, but we could look at that right here in Atlanta. You said it earlier, where you see, go to Lenox Mall, you're gonna see all people who look like me and you wearing their wealth. They're wearing their wealth. Like you said, everything they have more on their person than they do in their bank and their savings account. So, because their minds is captured, like you said. So it is like another thing that you said that I really like. You can't pray it away. You cannot pray this away. Pray. I pray.
Me too.
But you have to seek professional help.
Correct.
You have to.
Get that resolved.
I believe that we all suffer from PTSD. That's my personal view on that. So just being here in America. So
I also
say it again.
No, go ahead. What you about to say?
No, I like the way you I like the way you think. I like the way you think. You always think in strategy.
Hey man, I have to, but you know what though? Because I want to say this as well, and thank you for that. You have to understand what type of person you are. You follow me? You have to understand, where are you? What's your worldview? For women, what type of queen are you? Are you a spiritual queen? Are you a cooking queen? Are you a warrior queen? You know what I'm saying? Are you a sexy queen? And sexy queen, I said necessarily your body wise. What's sexy is your mind. You know, understanding
Absolutely.
what type of queen you are. Are you a healthy queen? You know what I'm saying? Can you nourish the family with healthy food? You know, for the most part, or you know what I'm saying? Can you cater to your man? And actually, are you able to allow a man cater to you? Some women are
Mm,
so bitter, so tough and strong. They, you know, they won't even allow a man to be romantic or be a gentleman towards them because they always got their walls up. Which I do understand that you have to have some sort of defense up. You have to. Even the Bible
right.
says to protect your heart because all the issues of life comes from the heart. You know what I'm saying? So you have to protect your heart. But what people don't know is that you know what I'm saying? If you don't protect that, there are people who are out there, are vultures, they'll manipulate you, they'll try to brainwash you and things of that nature. So you have to be able to protect your mind and understand who you are, understand your value so that you know the blessings you bring to the table. Because you might bring nothing but curses to the table. And just to be honest, you know, if you know you're a woman with a cursed life, be real with that and deal with that. Find out what that curse is, bind that thing and destroy it. You have to. You can't run away from your problems forever. And so that's why you know I wrote the book, my next book, The Winner in the Mirror, because I realized, particularly in the black community, you know what I'm saying. Okay, let me rewind. Before I had finished The Winner in the Mirror, this book right here. Matter of fact, I need to put it back up. Before I had finished it, not way before you know, way before I got in the mid section of it, I was working on the follow up to Seven Types of Queens, which was Seven Types of Kings, Queen's Desire. So I was writing that book because a lot of people were like, you know, why are you talking about women and this and that? What about the men? But everything starts with the women. So that's why I started with, you know what I'm saying? If you understand your culture as African people, you understand that everything starts with the womb of the woman. Everything. You know what I'm saying? That's why they consider women as mother gods. The first chapter in Seven Queens is called Mother God. Because I want to explain, because, you know, we've all heard that, you know, the black woman is God. Now, where does that come from? So I explained that.
Okay.
But in Seven Types of Kings, I was literally, I picked up a lot of momentum in writing that book. I think I'm about 14, 15,000 words into it, but I stopped when I realized that the number one growing population in committing suicide is young black boys. If I'm not mistaken, from the ages 12 to 18, they're the number one growing population committing suicide, outnumbering white children who, for a long time, were you know was leading that statistic. Not that I'm you know what I'm saying happy about that at all. Any child committing suicide, it hurts me. But when I realized that, I said, you know what? I need to write a book, not necessarily for money, but something that can help save our people. You know what I mean? Because I understand and see that so many of us are just weak minded, and because we've been conditioned that way. You know what I'm saying? You look at the you know, sports or entertainment, black men, we are rewarded only as entertainers. That's when we get praises in society. We're not praising the scholars, the young scientists. We're not even protecting our young scientists. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of our kids, they are so smart, but they're not being nurtured in that home. That's why I keep
Right.
going, come back to the home. That's why the man and woman gotta work things out, God willing, so they can raise the child together if it's possible. Because some people are not sensible. You're not gonna be able to live with them anyway. You know what I'm saying? They're just not sensible. Things not matching up. The unrealistic expectations not there. You know what I mean? You know, you probably brought somebody to your home to move in with you and don't know they're Satanists. So we gotta have like important conversations beforehand and pay attention to the signs. Signs, there's always signs before destruction. Even people say that, but also there's signs before the blessings as well. I believe that. But
Like,
there's always signs that okay, this person, there's something irregular about this person. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Let me step away. You know what I mean? But follow your spirit. But if you're not in tune with God, you're not in tune with your inner spirit. You know what I'm saying? Your infinite powers of God, then you're gonna easily make those mistakes, and I see it all the time.
Yeah, I like that. And one thing I ask my sisters, I ask any woman, I say, out of 10 times, how has you call it something different, but how many times has your woman's intuition been wrong? And they'll give me one of two answers. They'll say one that has never been wrong, that is right every single time, or they'll say 9 times out of 10, it is right.
Okay.
So follow that woman's intuition. You can't love the red flags out of somebody if you ignore those red flags when you see them or you feel them, or that gut that's telling you avoid this person, but he looks a certain way, or he has, like you were saying, he checks all these boxes, but you have all these flags that's starting to pop up, you gotta trust that. You gotta trust that, especially again if you can answer one of two ways that your woman's intuition is never wrong or 9 times out of 10 it's right. Trust it.
Oh yeah, you got to trust your instincts, man. Got to trust your instincts. I think I would have made a lot less mistakes if I did that back in my younger years. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm 41 years old now, so I'm like, got a little experience, being out here and just seen a lot, and I feel as if I can be a blessing to my people to somewhat show them the way, because a lot of things that I wasn't taught, before with business, relationships, or whatever, because my father wasn't there. Like I was saying, my father just wasn't there. But it made me want to be a better man. Like, it really forced me to really be the king that I am today. You know what I'm saying? It caused me to really strive harder to graduate college, to start my businesses, you know what I'm saying? And the guy will one day start a family. But I'm definitely thankful for where I am today, and just my mentality has gotten so strong that, a lot of things I see beneath me. And that's what we need to do. A lot of these people we trying to date or get married to or have children with, man, they really beneath us. They're not willing to level up in the first place. So you need to keep it moving. Understand that you are the child of the Most High God. So you have no business entertaining certain people.
And I love that point, because we elevate them to a position that they're not qualified for.
Correct.
We do that. We elevate them in a position in our lives that they're not, and then we're disappointed when they don't meet those expectations or even come close to it, right?
Correct.
They should have never been there before. Hey, this is my last question.
Go ahead.
I know I kept you over the time but
man, it's all good. I'm enjoying this, brother. I'm enjoying this. Don't worry about it.
So me and you have similar background stories, all right?
Okay.
We were raised by a mother. I was raised by my mother until my stepfather came into my life at 13. But how do you feel? Do you believe that a woman can raise a boy to be a man? How do you feel about that?
She can do the best she can, you know what I mean? But it takes a man to show a man how to be a man, you know what I mean? That's why, for example, the Mali tribe in West Africa, they separated the boys from the women at a certain age. They separated them so they could teach them one-on-one how to be a man, how to hunt, how to provide, how to cook, how to defend yourself, defend your family. These were essential to the to the transformation from boy to man. It was, I want to say, a ritual, but there's another name for it. When you're doing the initiations, you know what I'm saying? You had to go through those things, and if you didn't pass those tests, you weren't considered a man, and the whole community turned their backs on you. As a matter of fact, you get circumcised, right? Kids 13, 14 years old getting circumcised. If you move 1 inch, if you cry even a little bit, you be considered a weak and a punk getting circumcised, man. So these guys, well, you had to keep a straight face, man, even in the midst of adversity and being uncomfortable. You see, in today's society, men don't know how to deal with being uncomfortable. We just buckle and hide or act a fool. Or go do drugs and whatever, instead of dealing with the situations. That's why they did that. So no, I don't think a woman can raise a boy to be a man, not to his highest potential. But the feminine energy of a woman definitely plays a key part. You know what I'm saying? Every man has to be a gentle man. That gentle part comes from the woman, comes from his mom, or it could be a grandmother, auntie, someone who invested in teaching him, hey, this is how you're supposed to, treat a lady. But a man is going to teach the boy, hey, this is how it's done. Hopefully he's a real man with integrity. He's sensible and not, a-hole. But if he is a sensible man, he's okay. This is, you're supposed to open the door. You're supposed to pull the seat open. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to walk on this side of the sidewalk. Things like that. Like those type of things. Yes, a woman could tell him. Could tell him, but a man is what's really gonna show him. Because kids emulate what they see. Say it again.
Supposed to pay for that day. We ain't doing that Dutch stuff.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We breaking bread, man. Cause men took pride in that, man. We took pride, but we in the age where things aren't the same. So if women are looking for a good man, see if he has some sort of traditional values, and if he isn't on your level, is he willing to get to that level? Is he putting in the work? Cause sometimes, matter of fact, me, for example, man, I've been busting my butt for years, man. It's just now that I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor. You talking like I've been grinding since I got out of college, 2005, 2006. And just now I'm starting to see, like, you know what I'm saying, finances, like the finances are starting to match my efforts. But it wasn't until, you know what I'm saying, certain people seen that I was doing my best, but I'm still in the hoopty, or I'm still living in efficiency, that people seen my efforts and be like, okay, I see where you're going. Let me help you out this way. Let me connect you with these people. You know what I'm saying? So I was willing. They seen I was willing to put in that work. I was already doing it. It wasn't no. I wasn't. There was no thinking, or they believe I'm going to put in the effort. They knew I put in the effort. You know what I'm saying? Certain women I dated, you know, they helped me become even a better man. That's what a woman's supposed to do. Make the man a better man. You know what I'm saying? He should be a good and happy man already, but it's a man's not gonna reach his destiny without his queen. He's not gonna get there. President Obama, former president, he wasn't gonna become that president if it wasn't for Michelle Obama. You know what I'm saying? General Toussaint Louverture. He wouldn't have been the general he was in Haiti, you know, defeating the French. It wasn't for his wife on his side, helping him. You know, I mean, I could go on and on and on. And before I leave, I want to make one quote that back to the whole praying thing. Frederick Douglass, he said many years ago, I prayed on my knees for 20 years. Nothing happened. But when I started praying on my feet, things began to change. So that just proves to show that you have to put in that work, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pray, but pray on your feet. You know what I mean? You waiting on God, God waiting on you.
That's right. Faith without works is dead.
Man, it's non-existent, brother.
So, and I'll say this, you know, self-praise is no praise, but I'm going to just say this. Look at this.
Yes, sir.
Look at your background.
Oh, yeah. You know, like minds think alike, brother.
That's right. That's right. I just thought that was but listen.
Yes, sir.
Kevin, thank you so much. Kevin, Dorival.com.
Yes, sir.
I will make sure to link it. So what's the best way to get in contact? Is it the best way to go to your website? Is the best way to go to your Instagram, your Facebook? How do we get in contact with you? Because I gotta get that. I gotta get your first two books, but I gotta definitely get this third book that's getting ready to drop as well. But what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Oh, I appreciate it. Definitely KevinDorival.com. I'm putting in the comments right now without the .com, because Instagram and Facebook they blocked my sites for like past year, man. You know, I made a video on you know, racism, and they just blocked all my links, man. Literally everything I posted for the past 5 years been deleted that had my link on it, man. On Facebook. But best way to reach out to me is on Instagram. You click on the link that's there in my bio at Courage to Believe, or 7 Queens, 7 Kings. And, you know, definitely Facebook, you know, King Kevin Dorival. You'll find me on there. You can email me. I definitely do a lot of speaking engagements, whether it's online or in person, at schools, workshops, and things like that. So definitely, I'm not too hard to find. Reach out to me. You know, if you need some advice or life skills and things of that nature, I'm definitely leaning more towards that end, especially with the book coming out, The Winning the Mirror, July 7th. And if you're in Atlanta, I almost forgot to say this. If you're in Atlanta, I'm going to be but I'm going to be one of the vendors at the Atlanta Kickback on July 17th. It's going to be a Saturday here in Atlanta. And it's going to be a big event, tons of authors. Come see me, check me out. If you know somebody in the Georgia area, come check us out. It's going to be maybe 20 different authors out there, and just networking and exchanging.
Cool. Well, I definitely appreciate you, brother. We're going to have to do this again sometime. I know you're busy, but we're going to have to do this again sometime. It looked like a lot of comments. I'm going to go back and read them if I can. Again, for those of you guys who are watching the replay, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will make sure to personally get them over to Mr. Kevin and, get those questions answered for you. Again, thank you for your time, brother.